Hello and welcome to Attention Central Texas. I'm your host, Charles Jenkins, and in the studio with me we have Miss Stacy Mason. She's a volunteer at Feed My Sheep. Hello and welcome to today's show.
Thank you.
Stacy, I see right here, community table. Let's just jump right into it and talk about what is the community table and how did that idea come about?
Community table is a concept where we want to bring everyone from the homeless to the homeowner to the table together, to sit down, to break bread, to share a meal. We see this throughout the Bible over and over again, that Jesus sat down with people, and we believe that there is a special thing that happens when you sit down and eat a meal together. And so with Community Table, we have invited churches. We have 10 churches that are coming in to provide the meal. We have organizations we've invited in. The City of Temple has given us permission to shut down a block of 3rd Street. And our tables will be right down the middle of the street. And the churches will be serving the meal. We have permission to use the parking lot across the street, and we have organizations coming in so that people who need help can talk to those organizations, but also the people who might want to get involved, who might want to find out about those organizations and support them either monetarily or become a volunteer, can also find that connection there.
And I know you said, you're right, it's directly taken from what Jesus did because he did it often and he often ate a lot. But who came up with this idea? Was it you? Was it the director of the Feed My Sheep? Because I think it's brilliant.
Yeah, well, actually, I was talking to Nancy Glover, who works with the City of Temple, and she had gone to something similar, but actually not quite, to this magnitude in another town at one point in the past. And she said, I think this would be something neat to bring to this area. And as we began to talk about it, and then Jim Hornsby, our director, had some ideas about bringing in the churches, and it's just kind of grown from there. The original concept was literally just coming in and sharing a meal together, but it's grown, and I think has turned into something really special.
Oh yeah. I mean, just hearing you talk about it, that's why my face lit up, because I think it's brilliant bringing everybody to the table together. And I think in society, the way things are, whatever race you are, whatever religion, I think we'll solve more problems if we bring more people to the table. Because in the Bible, when Jesus brought people to the table, they can hate each other, but when they had a meal together, it signified everything's okay, and we're gonna be all right, and we could talk about this together. So the vision of this is to just keep it going, or a one-time thing?
Yeah, no, we'd like to keep it going. So this is our first annual, right?
Yeah.
And we'd like to grow it from here. We still have availability, both if churches want to come and be involved, and for the churches, what we're encouraging them to do is come, bring some stuff about your church if you want, bring your food. And there's no charge, of course, to be involved in this. But bring your food, but also this is a chance to talk to people in your community that you might not have an option to talk about. This is what this is about. This is about making connections in all ways, all directions, all forms. And we want people to have conversations, open their hearts, open their eyes, awareness, and also, this is a chance. I mean, we carry a light inside of us, right? And I heard this thing, and I love to listen to podcasts, and I heard this thing in a podcast, and they said, we're the light of the world. And it says, don't hide our light under that bushel. When we hold a light, it goes all directions around us, and it reaches those around us. But when we put a bucket over our head, our light only shines our own feet.
That's right.
And that's not what we're called to do.
That's right.
So this is a chance to take our light out there and share it. And you see that with Jesus, that he did have a meal with people, but those meals always had purpose.
Yes.
And it was different reasons, sometimes to comfort them, sometimes to share the hope with them, sometimes to bridge those gaps. Sometimes it's just because you're feeding the hungry.
Yeah.
And this meal can meet all those needs.
And that's the thing I love about it. And there is something about what Jesus did with the 12 disciples. I think it was to teach us that we got to be in the huddle of people, because people can call you blind spots, people can encourage you, people can give you strength. I think it's powerful. What you guys are doing. Why do you think someone should make the effort to come to this?
Because I think you're gonna grow. This is about reaching out to the lost, but it is about yourself as well, growing yourself. We were never meant, there's like the parable where it talks about the guy who took his talents and hid them in the field. And too often as Christians we can do that. We go, we go to church, we go home, we go to church, we go home, we go to church. This is about investing. This is about going out, the going out into the world, and really you can connect it to so many scriptures, because when Jesus taught, when God teaches us a principle, it's not a one-time thing.
That's
it's
right.
Throughout all of Scripture, and it is sending out. I mean, I used to pray. The funny thing is, I used to pray that God would send me out to the world, and the world He sent me to was the world right here.
That's good.
And so I just encourage other Christians in this area. And I grew up in a church, and I was guilty. I've been guilty of both sides of it. I've been guilty of thinking I just need to go to church and take care of myself, and then I've been guilty of I just need to do good things and not bring in the Jesus thing. Neither one of those are right, because neither one of those brings the hope that the world needs.
That's right. Just imagine if this thing takes off, and then Belton does one, and Nolanville does one, and Killeen, and Cove, just all down I-35. That would be it would be something amazing to talk about, because that's the church.
Yeah, it is. It is. Our event that we have right now, actually we're inviting in everyone. So if there's organizations that want to be involved as well, we still have openings. But we have Helping Hands out of Belton involved. We have some from Killeen that are coming.
Good.
Reach Out Crisis Ministries is going to be involved in Families in Crisis. The Gideons are coming. Hope Pregnancy Center is coming. We have a lot of people. There's a lot of opportunity there.
And I love that it's not just churches. I love that it's organizations, and in order to help hurting people, you have to provide them. Because, sometimes people, my grandmother had a saying, and it's not proper English, but she say, when you know better, you do better. Yeah. And some of those people may not have the means to go out, and I love that you're bringing it to them. Right where they are, because I think too many times we try to meet needs at a distance, when we could bring things to people and meet them where they are, and that's when true needs are met. I think it's awesome. If someone's sitting watching, want to get a hold of you guys and get more information about the event, how can they get in contact with you?
Well, you can go to our website, which is feedmysheeptemple.org. You can look us up on the Facebook page, and also our Facebook page for The Well, which is our women's shelter. Okay. And then if you would like more specific information, it's feedmysheeptemple@gmail.com. Okay. And, again, my name's Stacy. You can address it to me.
And speaking of Feed My Sheep, tell us some of the things that take place and happens at Feed My Sheep. Anything you want to mention?
Oh, sure. So Feed My Sheep, generally people think about feeding, right? Because of the name, and I think that's what we're most known for, because most of our volunteers, we run like 500 volunteers through we call it the Shepherd's Cafe up on the corner. And we feed a hot meal, 365 days a year, but we actually have several different areas. So we have, I mentioned the Well, which is for women, and they do showers and laundry, and we have the reciprocal for the men. We do mentoring. We have a 12-step program and anger management classes. We have an education facility where we do high school equivalency classes. We do not GED, but ESL, adult literacy. We have some mentoring that is going on there. We have our resource center, which can help with like rent assistance, utility assistance, birth certificates, IDs, driver's license, medications. Really, that one is unlimited, what all we do there. We have a children's clinic that is every month, pediatric clinic that
Wow.
moves around. And we are right now starting up a furniture program to help
Wow.
people who need furniture. And lots of needs for volunteers. So if anyone wants to get involved, they also can email me at that email, and I'll get them plugged in.
It's interesting you talk about everything you guys do. I think you are being this program that you're getting ready to hold.
Yeah.
It's a place where people can go and get all of those needs that you talk about, that you just talked about, they can get them met in one stop without having to go over here for that, over here for that. You bring it all to the people. That's what Jesus did. He brought it to the people, and I love that. I love it, I love it, I love it. Again, tell us the date and the time again, and anything I miss, you're free to share.
All right, it's going to be on April 6th.
Okay.
It's from 12 to 2, and it's on 3rd Street between G and F,
Okay.
which is our location at 613 South 3rd. Bethel Church is actually bringing some live music, so we'll have some live music there. The meal is free. We will have some places for donation if you know people want to pray about it ahead of time, and if God moves them to make a donation. But there is no cost to come.
I love it.
And so, and again, this is everybody in Bell County that we would like to come, whether you're in the bigger towns, the smaller towns. It's a great place of growth. This is our community. It doesn't stop at the borders of the city, right? And so, and especially as a Christian, we realize that these are all the creation of our God,
And he said,
and
go,
loved by Him.
And he says, go and make disciples. He didn't say, go to temple, go to Bell.
That's right.
He just said, go.
That's right.
So go is all encompassing. Tell us the address of Feed My Sheep as well.
613 South 3rd.
I don't know if you
in
mentioned
Temple.
that. You probably did,
Yes.
but I just wanted to make sure that got out again. We have about a minute left. Is there any closing remarks?
I would just encourage people to come. I think that this could really be the start of something new in an individual's, yes, in our community, and that's beautiful, but it starts in the hearts of the people. And so I know it's a Saturday, but it is, this is a Saturday well invested.
Yes. What a way to enhance Christ's reputation, where for the world to see how the church and how people could come together for a common purpose. Miss Stacy, thank you for what you do. Thank you for what you do at Feed My Sheep. Thank you for being on the show, and we appreciate what you guys are doing.
Thank you.
Yes. And thank you, our viewers, for tuning in to Attention Central Texas.